Hi, welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be like a part 2, a tarot reading connected to, I'll just link it up here, the last video I did. And so straight away when I started to pick up the cards, I kind of got a little bit of a feeling of what I should do this reading about. I was shuffling the Rider-Waite here, and the Three of Swords came out, and then I wanted to pull from the Mystical Shaman deck, and when I picked up the deck it was the Owl in reverse. And so actually what I'm getting is that there is this strong field, energetic field within the collective right now of people that I feel like there is a lot of people that somehow find themselves in regret. It's almost as if they don't know, and I'm also hearing, or this is about to come in for some, but I'm feeling that it's almost as if there was something in the past that they didn't quite see. I feel something that they didn't quite understand. It's like their mind at that time was kind of too bonded to, the standard quo and the 4D, the established matrix, and so they missed kind of like an opportunity, or it's something that they missed an exit point, I feel. And I feel like this is very much related to our masculine energy, and so you may be feeling this in regards to a particular relationship. It could be with a more feminine energy in that case, or it could also be, and I'm feeling this strongly for a lot of people, in regards to finances, that maybe you said no to some kind of opportunity or some kind of guidance that you received because it's like your mind was too judgmental. I'm feeling at that time it was too judgmental, and it wasn't like the opportunity or the relationship that came to you and was offered to you, it's like it wasn't according to the standards of your mind at that point in time. But it's almost like the mind was a bit too arrogant. It wasn't really, it was a bit too high and mighty, the mind. It was channeling maybe from like the upper astral, timelines that were about to ground and fall and become more outdated. But I feel like many of us, we may not have been quite aware of that perspective at that time. And so for some of you, this might be a time of, I'm actually hearing retrospection, and really understanding more clearly like where you may have taken a path that is like led to the feeling of poor, the feeling of being poor, or the feeling of like poor me, that template of poor. And so now I feel, let's start from that point of like poor, feeling poor, being poor, poor me, the poor one, the abandoned one. That's what I'm hearing. So let's start from there. Let's see what guidance we can get here. But I'm also feeling at this spot actually that there may be a lot of heart opening and actually gratitude. Like I feel like you may be connected or connecting to some types of energies that are very understanding, maybe like that they don't judge, energies that don't judge you for where you are. It's like, these are the guides of the 5D, I'm feeling. And also if you connect to people that channel guides from the 5D, they will have that type of vibe. It's like they don't care really about your past, or it's not like they don't care. It's like they understand that your past has shaped you, but they don't want to judge you based on it. They want to, like, they always want to see life evolving. That's really the vibe I'm getting. So for some of you, you're connecting to those types of guides, or you wanting to connect to those types of guides. And I'm hearing, and they're here for us. Like, they're here for us. So what do we need to know? Okay. Wow. Corn coming out. This is a card of abundance. And I'm hearing abundance returning. Yeah, I feel if this resonates, like, now you've learned your lesson. It's like you've learned to observe yourself more closely, Underneath the deck was the jaguar. Wow. And also the sun here. And the soul retrieval card. And the crow. And the owl. Oh my goodness. I love it. And lightning. Yeah, there's so many energies like that has your back right now. I feel if you've gone through this journey that I just described, because actually behind here was also wild woman and the child. There are so many energies that has your back right now. There are so many different types of energies that are actually available to you if you go down into your subconscious, if you do a journey. So how you can do that is just close your eyes, put yourself in a relaxed state. Sometimes it can be really good to listen to like drum music, just basic drum, because it kind of mimics the heart and calms you down. It's like being in the womb, right? You hear the beating of the heart. It's like tells your body to go back to that womb space of dreaming, connecting to soul mother is what I'm hearing. And then you can start to imagine yourself being someplace in nature where you feel absolutely safe, and it's like a beautiful place that you really enjoy being, and like the conditions around you are just right. It's just very comfortable. And then you can start imagining that you're starting to step down, like a stairway or like a hole in the ground or something like that. I like to count to 10, like there are 10 steps, and for each step I just feel like I'm opening up more and more to these energies of like inner earth, if you will, or the root system. And then you start seeing things, and if you're not used to this, your ego is constantly going to be there telling you that this is not real, this is not real, this is fake, you can't do this, this is not real, you're not able to do this. Just let the ego be there, it's gonna be there. Just affirm it and say it's just an imagination. Yes, it's true, it's not real, it's just my imagination. But that's how you begin. We learn to be psychic through our imagination, and it's not always so easy to know whether is it just my imagination or is it actually something that's going to manifest. Is it actually real? And so for me, it's just something that I've had to build over time to really like keep tabs on what am I seeing in my internal worlds and what is actually manifesting, and then just like compare and see like, oh yeah, this did actually manifest. Like, okay, so that type of vibe maybe I can trust. And so over time you kind of build this deeper understanding of what is what. It takes time, but it begins just like that, just working with your imagination. And also another thing that I should mention, that everything that you see in this realm is always symbolic, or mostly almost always symbolic. And so learning that language of symbolism also becomes very, very important if you want to really decipher those messages and like apply them to reality. But for some of you, I actually feel like you're starting that journey now. You're starting to awaken your shaman abilities, and I feel with the corn, yeah, I feel like there's something here about, I'm just seeing these crowds, this crowd actually is what it comes through as. This crowd flying away, like leaving you alone. I feel like when you do this, that's when you start your own journey. I'm hearing of becoming a man. Like you're stepping out on your own. You're creating a new path, a life of your own. So this is a huge step for some of you, I feel. It's like you're really moving into maturity. I feel like you're opening up to the king energy. You're starting to build your king energy. And I'm also hearing in the future you will be owning land. So it's something about that this is a path that if you follow it, it's gonna allow you to really create a space of your own, place of your own, place where you can cultivate whatever you want, grow whatever you want. So that's super cool. I really love that energy. So let's pull some tarot cards as well here. Anything else? Yes, the king does come out. It's the King of Wands. Yeah. And the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. So I feel like this is gonna require practice though, to get to that place of actually being a king. You know, you see with the King of Wands, he masters fire. You know, that is also a very important thing to master as a masculine energy. It's your creative potential, right? To have full control of that means that you cannot be taken advantage of by, for instance, dark feminine energies. And the reason that I say that is that our society today, you know, the economic system today actually is very much built up by these dark feminine energies. It's all about trying to pull us, you know, it's all about invoking desire in us, you know, lightning, putting us on fire, invoking our desire, and then using that kind of against us to pull us to get bonded to experiences, to certain types of food, to things. You know, it's all about pulling the crowds in and then getting them hooked, getting them bonded for life is what I'm hearing. And so that is the energy of the dark feminine, you know, the feminine that is just trapped in the underworld, and she's not able to connect to her own higher self because she's not given value. And so that is kind of the energy that builds the financial system, the marketplace at this point in time. And so as a masculine energy, to overcome that trap of the dark feminine is very important. But actually also what I'm getting here is that usually the go-to way, historically the go-to way for a masculine energy to overcome the dark feminine has been through discipline. But I'm getting that is not like a fully, it's not going to lead to full awakening. What I'm actually getting is that you're not meant to overcome the dark feminine by turning your desires off completely. I feel here with the King of Wands, it's like you're meant to be very connected to your own desire nature, but maybe it's just meant to be private, sacred. You know, maybe for some of you I'm feeling that not to be ashamed if you ever feel that, if you're a masculine energy, or even in like as a feminine as well. But I do feel like it's more accepted these days actually for a feminine energy to, for instance, masturbate and things like that. For a female to do that, it's just a bit more socially acceptable, I feel, than actually for a man to do it, because it's like a lot of people still see that masculine sexuality as something dirty and disgusting. And so that might be a program that for some of you may be actually blocking you a little bit. I would say keep it private, and then it's nobody's business. Like, you don't have to speak about it, and I feel like it's actually better if you don't at first, if you really build up your peace with it. So that's just a side message, I guess, for some of you, but it's very much linked, this. You know, as human beings, our creative powers, our ability to create is very much linked to that inner desire and fire and our sexuality. And so that's actually for some of you, I see that you're using that as a way of, as a path of enlightenment. You know, it's like you're slowly building this pentagram up around yourself, like this connection to the different realms, and you're using it, for some of you I see, to actually to It's like to turn your vibration up so that your karma starts to clear more rapidly. And of course, this can be quite a lot of emotional labor, you know. It's something that I've experimented with personally, and it is a lot of emotional labor, because you know, when you turn your vibration up, it means that change just happens so much more rapidly. So it means that you're constantly getting one wave after another, and I'm talking about in terms of karmic debris coming up, you know. So you're feeling a lot of the dark energies coming up to the surface to be cleared, and so it can be tiring to always be present, observing, looking at what is going on within me, pinpointing what is what is here to stay, what can I start feeding so that it will grow. You know, with the wands here, it talks about growth, what is actually has potential for growth and what does not. But with the 2 8s, I do see you reaching some kind of pivotal moment here, some kind of understanding. This is actually also, I'm getting union energy for some of you, that maybe you've been doing this for a long time already, and you're now reaching like a point of union, actually, where you're starting to, yeah, okay, I'm seeing Page of Swords, the Lovers, Wheel of Fortune. So the Lovers is also the Gemini, new moon in Gemini coming up soon. Of course, this can also be regards to a relationship. There's also been a lot of shifts, I think, for the people that are awakened or on the path of awakening, working with their energy. You know, there is a lot of shifts happening within both feminine, masculine. And so I think people are starting to find themselves. Maybe I'll talk more about like the significance of the Lovers when we reach that new moon in Gemini. But it's a very symbolic card at this point in time. But yeah, I do feel that there is some kind of new beginning of some kind coming up for some of you masculines that have been going through a hard time over the past couple of years. So let's see, anything else here? Yeah, 2 of Cups underneath the deck, and then the 9 of Pentacles. So I feel like it is actually establishing that core individuality again, like I talked about, even with your own sexuality, like to have that be something that can be private just for you, as well as sharing it with someone else in a relationship. I just also feel like that it's something with that in regards to being a spiritual authority in your own life. You know, it means that you're never gonna feel dependent on another, and that makes it just so much more easy to be understanding and kind of, you know, you don't need them or their body to satisfy yourself. Basically, it's like you're comfortable with yourself, and then the other person becomes more like just, you know, it becomes more like a partner rather than something you depend on or become codependent on, if that makes sense. So I'm feeling that for some of you, and I feel that this can also be very much in regards to career and finances, and kind of like the work you're doing for the public. To know yourself by yourself is extremely important. I feel like to build this private sphere, this sacred sphere around you with things, consisting of things, you know, skill set that maybe no one else knows that you have. Because it's like you don't speak about it, you don't share it with the public until you really feel like now is the time to share that. But then you have something else, you know, hidden behind your veil that you're working on, that is not for anyone else's eyes. It's just for you, your journey here on earth, you and your higher self. I'm feeling that for some of you that building such a private sphere is gonna be very empowering. Yeah, and behind the Two of Cups was the Empress. And you're gonna feel very good about it. Like you're gonna feel good about yourself in your life. There's not gonna be that energy of the poor me anymore. You know, the Nine of Swords was behind the Empress. So I feel like those sleepless nights, the spinning thoughts, when you really start to establish this beautiful kind of like sensual energy around yourself, where it's like you enjoy your craft, you enjoy your practice, whatever it may consist of, you know, you enjoy your own sexuality, your own private sphere. It just makes you calm, right? It makes you more connected to land. And that's, I think, important for some of you. Like I said, it's like some of you are meant to own land. This path is going to help you to own land. And so to be connected to like your own body, I feel is very important in that. Anything else there? Magician. Yes. And the Seven of Wands underneath the deck. So, and the Ten of Wands behind there, and then Nine of Swords showing itself again. Page of Wands as well. So I do feel like there are still some kind of like old programs from the 4D kind of coming into your consciousness, and I feel like it's very much related to, again, the masculine energies. It's like the wands, fire energy, and swords. So perspective, perception, you know, thinking outside of your own mind, not being trapped by your own mind, rather observing. If you feel like this, the spinning thoughts, instead of kind of like getting lost into them, try to observe them and just map them out. What thoughts are actually coming through right now? Like, why are they coming through now? What am I clearing? You know, what is going on in the world around me? What type of energies are these thoughts connected to? I feel for some of you, you need to zoom out a little bit, create some detachment and distance from your own. You know, this is the astral world that's coming through and influencing your mind, and it happens more and more as we awaken. And so it's like important to kind of get that distance to these thoughts, so that you can actually start to take these thoughts when we're going through the karmic clearing, which is difficult, emotionally burdensome and difficult and stressful. But if we have the detachment, and I feel this is also where the Nine of Pentacles comes in, you know, if we have the bird here that we can zoom out, it's almost as if we can even use those really pressing times when we're under the water, in a sense, to build our understanding, to build our skill set. It's like continuing to build your skills and your understanding and your alignment in whatever situation that you find yourself in. Always zoom out, always question, always look at the big picture. And I also feel here, again, with the Nine of Pentacles and the snail, and like the Page of Wands coming through here, don't be afraid if growth is slow at this point in time. Like, we are completely shifting the matrix that we're living by, and I know that a lot of people actually don't really see this at this point in time or believe it. It's more like it's a gimmick. We talk about it, but we talk about it because we heard it from some kind of spiritual authority. But I feel like not a lot of people actually see it and understand it yet, and so it feels kind of weird to say that still out in the open. But I feel like the more we start touching, the more we start seeing these old wands and understanding, you know, these patterns, the easier it's gonna get. You know, I always look at the footwear here, how he's changing shoes, how he's moving from one footprint to another, one destiny to another. And right now we're just in that middle where we're like, we're still in the old. Still a lot of us, a lot of our mind is still very connected to the 4D. But some of us, we also have a leg in the 5D. And so we're in that like, ooh, what is what? What is what? And so we just constantly have to be on it, is what I'm feeling. But this is a good reading, guys. This is a good reading, guys. So I feel for a lot of you, you're on like a really good path here. So keep working, keep believing in yourself. Take care. Bye.